We got some breaking news here in HQ out of MLB, of course. Dodgers keeping one of their own out in LA, have agreed to a deal with Chris Taylor, Mr. Everything for them in 2021. He appeared in at least 8 games at 6 different positions and more than 23 games at 4 different spots. Over his career, though, Taylor has spent time at every position I mentioned there except for catcher, pitcher, first base. So as you can imagine, means a lot to stay out there in that Dodgers blue. Not to mention when the Dodgers had all those injuries, Taylor came up big, hit 20 home runs and drove in 73 runs out there in LA. For more of this breaking news, bringing our Jim Bowden. And Jim, your reaction to LA keeping Taylor out on the West Coast?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt they had to keep Chris Taylor. Once Corey Seager signed with the Texas Rangers, and we knew that they were not going to pursue the other top shortstops like Trevor Story or Carlos Correa, then we knew they had to bring Taylor back. Now, when you look at shortstop, they're going to move Trey Turner from second back to short. They're expecting Gavin Lux to be the second baseman, but they needed to have the security of having Taylor, who could play shortstop, could play second base, could play left field, could start in any of those positions. His versatility, his flexibility, his willingness to have any role is so important. And he had so many big hits for this team last year. Had a little bit of a slump at the end of the year, but then got it going again into the postseason. This guy was an all-star this year. This guy has power, hit over 20 home runs again. He can steal a base, winning player, no question about it. But with the Dodgers losing Seager, they had a sense of urgency to get Taylor done. Taylor's market was incredible. If you want to talk about it, 18 teams were playing on Chris Taylor. Teams like the Red Sox, the Seattle Mariners, the Yankees touched base. There were so many teams that showed interest, but he wanted to be a Dodger the whole time. He kept wanting a multi-year deal. We don't have the terms exactly how this finished, but there was no doubt the Dodgers at the end of the day felt like they had to pay him. They stepped up and got it done.
You mentioned there, of course, losing Corey Seager for the Dodgers there, but keeping Chris Taylor. You're talking about a guy that won the 2017 NLCS MVP, not to mention was an all-star. When you kind of keep one of these glue guys around, when you look at the Dodgers, what does this mean for them next season?
Well, I think the important thing to look at is we don't know for sure what Gavin Lux is going to be over a full season. He hasn't done it yet. We saw signs of the bat coming around near the end of the season. Can he do it for a full year? We don't know that. Trey Turner is going to be a free agent after next year. Are they going to be able to re-sign Trey Turner? Are they willing to give him the 10 years, $300 million that he's going to be asking for? So they've got security now with Taylor both second and short. Cody Bellinger slumped all of last year. Is he going to be able to rebound and be the hitter he was in 2019? Having Chris Taylor, again, he is the perfect insurance policy. If you think you're saving 15% at Geico, you're saving 50% with Chris Taylor.
There you go. I like that. I like that analogy there. Jim Bowden, as always, with the breaking news there. Chris Taylor staying out in L.A. with the Dodgers there. Appreciate your time, my friend.
Thank you.
Take a look when we're talking about top 10 still out there. Carlos Correa there for Houston came up big doing that postseason run. Still available out there when you're talking shortstops. That was something we had mentioned going into the offseason. You would expect a lot of run on those guys. Trevor Story as well. And then you look at 8 and 9. We talk about keeping some of those guys with the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw, talk about an ace. Kenley Jansen as well, your reliever pitcher at 9. So a lot more to do if you're LA and others across the MLB.